Hi, love bugs. So it's Robin here. I'm doing your daily spirit message reading for Monday. I was going to say April 14th. And this is the Witch's Tarot. And look who finally got a haircut. Like, is anybody else like me? Let me start shuffling. Like, I don't like sitting in a salon. I get really antsy. I just want to leave. So I procrastinate as long as possible. And I finally went because my hair was just getting ridiculous. But let's see what Spirit has to say about the energy coming up that is possible for you to either avoid or embody and make the most of. So let's start pulling some cards here. We do have the Three of Cups. And I think this is just a really beautiful card because it says like community and treasured friendships. And as I was talking about that, I saw something off in the distance in my home. And just remember that not all of your friends and community are earthbound. Okay, so you also have friends in spirit. Should I write that down? I think I will. Hold on. 111. Hold on. So I was just getting all these messages while I'm writing down the video title, okay? So I think many of you have people that have passed and they are on the other side and maybe feeling a little bit lonely. So imagine you cross the veil, okay? And then, oh, I just want you guys to know that I wrote the number 520 on my hand because this is, it's supposed to welcome in massive abundance. So if you guys want to go ahead and do that. Anyway, let's imagine it's your time. Everybody has time, right? And then they cross the veil. And it's wonderful. It's a beautiful experience. You get to see all your ancestors. You're no longer earthly bound, trapped in your human body, especially if you were experiencing a ton of pain. But your family is left behind, your friends, and for some people, they're fur babies. So there is that longing to be in contact with people that you've left behind. And that's another reason why there's such a long wait list for people to reincarnate, angel number 222, because you just want to come back and have a physical body and be able to hug people and interact and, you know, all the things that you can do in a physical body. So anyway, you're on the other side and people slowly start to forget you. And I think they say it's something like it takes 2 generations for people to be forgotten. Unless you're like William Wallace or, you know, somebody that is very hugely historically impactful. So anyway, you do have somebody that's on the other side that is like, geez, I wish they'd call me. And you can't like boop, 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 call somebody on the phone, but you can definitely like unlearn everything that you've learned about death and people passing on to the other side. And I find that Alan Watts is a really good teacher of like that esoteric line between life and death. But how can you learn more about conversing with people on the other side? And always the best time to communicate with people is right after they pass away, because they're still kind of hanging around unless they go right back to the ether, or like anniversaries or birthdays, or, you know, the anniversary of the date that they passed. And I know that a lot of people, you know, they memorialize people like internments and like graveyards and like cemeteries and stuff like that. Or, you know, you could put a picture, like I have a picture of my grandma and my grandpa right above where I get ready, because my grandmother was like this amazing woman that I connected with. And then my grandfather was the person in my family that like him and I had so many similar interests and I was just fascinated by him. But these are things that you can do, and you don't want your ancestors to feel like you've completely forgotten about them. So there are certain dates that you can light a candle, set their favorite tea or biscuit or whatever, and sit down and have a conversation with them and then drop all your defenses with the Queen of Swords, okay? Because it can be a very fearful experience. You know, it's otherworldly. Obviously, you're interacting with a completely different realm. So if you're going to sit down to have a conversation with somebody, or you want to talk to your dog or cat or fish or whatever that's on the other side, like, you have to drop all fear and be open to it, because you can see the Queen of Swords. She's kind of gesturing with one hand, but she's got her sword in front of her, like, oh, I don't want this to hurt. I don't want to be scared. So anyway, just let me know if this is something that you've ever done, or something that you would like to have done, or, you know, just anyway, you got somebody that's like in the Lonely Hearts Club on the other side, and they would love to hear from you. Okay, so